Hello everyone and welcome. My name is RhodyRetro, aka Brandon, and we are here today with a new series that I'm launching off. A series where I am basically going to recap all of my finds within the past several days, hopefully doing this on a weekly basis and showcasing to you all what these finds were, why I bought them, how much value they're worth, and also assessing whether or not I made a good decision by purchasing them. So we're going to go through a variety of the items that you see here. There's about 5 different types of items, and I'm basically going to divide up the video into different segments so that you can jump around into the video and see which type of items you want to learn more about, get a brief history on, and understand the value so you can know whether or not you should be on the lookout for them as well. Awesome. Let's get started here. We are going to start with the Pokemon Limited Edition Burger King Pokeballs. And what's cool about these items here, I'm going to start with the Pikachu one first, is that these were actually pretty accessible back in the late 90s. All you had to do was go to Burger King and purchase a meal there, and you received a exclusive limited edition Pokeball. Now, they said limited edition, but at the same time, these were all widely available to anyone who actually ended up going to Burger King and getting a meal. The cool thing is that there's something special inside of the Pokeball, as you can see here. So let's open this up so I can show you what is indeed inside. So you can see we have a Pokeball here. Now, if this was a new item, this would have been wrapped up in plastic. But of course, this was used. I found this at a Savers for a few bucks, and it was indeed used. You can't really see it on the video, but there has indeed been some scratches on this Pokeball. But more importantly, let's open up to see what it is that is inside. So what I'm taking out here are 2 things. First and foremost, the certificate of authenticity. This is how legit this was back in the day. So I'm going to read this out loud so that you guys can see this as well as watch it on the screen. But basically, this is a Pokemon Special Edition 23 karat gold plated trading card. The official license by Nintendo, which is pretty cool to have. You don't really get these on many products. And on the back, you see this Pokemon Special Edition 23 karat gold plated trading card has been produced to the highest standards for Nintendo of America. It is made from the highest quality alloy. To ensure lasting value, long life, and beauty, we suggest that it remain in clear cover in which it was delivered. Fingerprints and exposure to weather will cause superb finish to tarnish. And that's in reference here to this gold plated 23 karat gold little card. So you can see on the front side that we just saw earlier, little Pikachu. On the back side, another Pikachu with a little description. What that says right there is mouse Pokemon. When several of these Pokemon gather, their electricity could build and cause lightning storms. Pretty cool. Comes in this nice little casing. I don't want to take it out. I mean, it's actually pretty heavy. It definitely has some weight to it. But overall, pretty neat little thing, especially for a Burger King toy. You know, I haven't got a Happy Meal or a Burger King meal in a long time now, so I don't really know what the condition of the toys are now, but I feel like this is pretty legit for a Burger King toy. Now, what's cool about this is there's actually 6 in total that were released for Burger King. There's this one that we have right here, the Pikachu one. Then there is the few others. There's the Jigglypuff one, which we're going to open up in a second and look and take a look at. And then there's also the here we go, Charizard. There's a Mewtwo, there's a Togepi, and a Poliwhirl. So definitely Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo make sense. Jiggly, Togepi, and Poliwhirl are definitely some of the more random Pokemon that they decided to go with, but that's what they did. So again, let me show the box here. You can see again, this is used, so this isn't in the best condition, but this is the Jigglypuff box. Very similar with the front and back of Jigglypuff. All 6 of the ones that you can capture. And again, with the Pokeball being very similar, you can actually see here where my thumb is, a little bit of some use and signs of use here. But again, the same concept. So you get the gold-plated card right here. And then you also get the certificate of authenticity. Jigglypuff. What we will do is actually check out the gold-plated description on the back of the Jigglypuff card. It says right here, balloon Pokemon. I'm trying to read that. When its huge eyes light up, a mysteriously soothing melody that lulls its enemies to sleep. So yeah, you can see a little bit on the right hand side. This is a little bit difficult to read. Looks as if something happened with the description, but a cool item nonetheless. Now again, this isn't necessarily in the best condition. It's not brand new, obviously. It's not sealed, but it's still in somewhat good condition. What's interesting is that you know, if you check out some recent sold listings on eBay, the Jigglypuff one, used, especially with the used box, probably going for about 15 bucks or so. Pikachu, since again Pikachu is a little bit more of the popular Pokemon, going for about $20-ish. If these were both brand new, not too much of a difference. You know, Pikachu going for around 30, Jigglypuff around 20, 25-ish. So again, pretty neat little product. These were the first two products that I had found earlier this week. Now diving into this next set of products, a unique set of items here that I have personally never really purchased these before because I didn't really know what they were, but I'm starting to just now make the purchase of some items that I'm not really too familiar with, so that I can learn more about them and help you guys especially learn more about these. So I'm going to take a few of these and check them out, but these are essentially what's referred to as MechWarriors. So MechWarriors initially started off as a video game. Let's see if you can get a better, there you go. Pretty cool detailed figures here. Started off initially as a video game in 1989, and various different, I guess, sections or different types of the series of the video games have been coming out ever since up until about 2019. But then early 2000s, a tabletop game was developed, and that's what these little figures here are used for. So again, you can see that they all vary in their level of complexity, their level of detail, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna fix the lighting here really quickly. Okay. So again, there's some pretty unique aspects about these in that they have a little switch back here, and I'm not too familiar, not too knowledgeable about what this is used for. It's right over here. There's a little switch. But they're basically, I guess, almost kind of like chess pieces would be to a chessboard. This is the pieces that are used for the tabletop game. That again, not necessarily too popular, and the reason why I know that and say that is because when you check out these on sold listings on YouTube, I think there was only about 50 sold listings there, and so you can tell right off the bat that, you know, if a product only has very minimal sold listings, it's not really a product that's sought after. Now again, I just, you know, I paid a few bucks for all 5 of these in little wrapped up savers bag because I thought they were cool. They were pretty detailed, and I wasn't too familiar with them. But after doing some research, let me organize these here. These 3 right here that are up front, the darker one, the red one, and the blue one, these 3 right here, actually going for only about $1 a piece. I did see some alternative versions of them selling for about $1, and obviously plus shipping. So there's individuals who are interested in these and are paying for the shipping and whatnot to receive them, but nothing too much to be on the lookout for. So if you see these, again, this goes with almost any type of collectible. There's always going to be random pieces like these right here that don't necessarily have much value, but with anything else, there are some that have value. Now again, I'm using the data that exists on eBay to determine the value of these, and these 2 in my hand right now are the more valuable ones, but with very limited data. And what I mean by that is this gray one right here, Rifleman 206, about 2 months ago sold for about 10 bucks, which is pretty decent, you know, especially since I only paid a couple bucks for all of them. But again, this was only one listing that I've seen sold for this item. So in regards to being able to sell this, not necessarily going to be the easiest thing to do. Hence why I would probably just leave it on the shelves if I ended up seeing this there again. This little buddy right here, very similarly, only about, I think, 1 or 2 listings, range from anywhere from about 10 to 15 bucks. So again, pretty neat, cool figure. But it's most likely going to be difficult to sell just because it's not as popular of an item. But MechWarriors, nonetheless, you know, something cool to check out. I personally think they are cool figures in general. They have a lot of detail to them, especially this guy right here. A lot of detail. And for something that's, you know, on the smaller end of figures, it's pretty cool. I think it's really interesting. Let me know in the comments, guys, you know, if you've heard of MechWarriors, especially if you have knowledge on MechWarriors, because I'm not necessarily too knowledgeable. I just did some basic research in preparation for this video on MechWarriors and thought it was a pretty cool concept. But if any of you have more context, maybe you collected MechWarriors when you were younger, or maybe you were able to provide some more context based on the fact that you collect retro or vintage toys, just let me know. Feel free to make a comment below. The next item that we have, I was really excited to find right when I walked into Savers. This is Blip. So for those of you that don't know, this is like, for those of us that maybe were born in the 90s, we had our first handheld game. That was the Game Boy, or the Super Game Boy, or the Game Boy Color, the Game Boy Advance SP, Nintendo DS. This was the Game Boy of the 70s. So this came out in 1977. And it's basically a handheld game that's very, very old school. I'm going to open it up and check it out. What's cool about this game is you can play 1 player, but usually 2 players is best. The reason for that is, and you might see something familiar about this. This looks like Pong, doesn't it? Well, this is an alternative version to Pong, and what you would do is, somebody would be on this side, on the right-hand side of the actual handheld, and another person would be on the left side of the handheld. And all you would do is put this timer on, and then when you put the timer on, boom, the timer would go, and you would hit serve, and a little electronic, because this is battery powered, little electronic ball would just appear, and the person who served would serve. Let's say player 2 was serving, player 2 would serve to player 1, and player 1 would have to anticipate, okay, based on where it was served and when it bounces off the wall, where is it going to land? And you had to anticipate where it would land by clicking on 1, 2, or 3 here, before it hit your side of the field. And if you guessed correctly, the electronic ball would get sent over. Again, very similar to Pong, but a little bit more specific with specifying where it's going to be hit, and then vice versa. And you keep going back and forth until the timer goes up. And then right over here, there's a little on the backhand side over here. You can see there's a little bit of some, you can manipulate the points. As you can see me changing those points right there, the top right. It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see I'm changing the points right there. Now, I would have done a live demonstration of this to showcase how this actually works, but like any products, you always take a risk, and so I'm going to show you here. I had honestly opened this in the store really quickly just to see the quality, and just by, you know, looking at the back of this and then looking at the front, you can say, hey, this looks like it's in pretty decent shape. So I'm going to take the few dollars of a risk and bring it home with me and test it out. The one thing that I've, you know, kind of a rookie mistake I should have done was, let me check where you insert the batteries. Let me make sure the terminals and everything that's over here is all set. Now, once again, pretty difficult to see here, but on the right hand side here, you can actually, yeah, it's all right. On the right hand side here, there's actually a missing terminal for one of the batteries. So the battery is not able to, essentially the battery circuit is not able to be completed. And so even when I put in the batteries, it's just it does not take it in, and it does not take the energy source in. So kind of a little bit of a loss here, but a cool little piece of history and nostalgia nonetheless. For those of you that might be a little bit more, you know, not necessarily 90s baby or maybe an 80s baby. Did you have this as a kid? Let me know in the comments. Was it fun or was it just frustrating? Now that I'm actually moving this around, you can kind of hear a little bit here, a little bit of the piece kind of moving around that's probably stuck inside. But yeah, let me know if you guys played with this toy. Let me know if this was something that was of interest, or if it was something that you have no familiarity with. Cool. Last but not least, we have probably my favorite pickup from this week. This is the Ho-Oh figure from HeartGold. Now, the reason why this is special is because when you look here, this is the actual photo of the figure. More specifically, when you look here, I'm going to zoom in. You see in the bottom it says not for resale. Anytime you see any product that says not for resale, especially when it's associated with a video game like this is with Nintendo DS, always keep an eye out for that, because that means that it might have it most likely has a higher level of value, because this was not meant to essentially be resold, because it was part of a package deal. And in this case, if you when HeartGold and Soul Silver came out for the Nintendo DS back in around 2010, if you pre-ordered a HeartGold or Soul Silver version, you were able to receive one of these figures as a bonus item. Hence the reason why it's not for resale, because it's a bonus item that comes with almost like a thank you for pre-ordering the actual game. So this is a pretty cool figure, because it's one of those that's kind of limited edition by nature, because of the fact that not many people are pre-ordering games, at least to the extent that they are now. Not necessarily, it wasn't that popular to do that back then, at least I would say so. And what's even better is that this is still sealed. So this has not been opened, and I personally do not plan on opening it. Maybe one day I will, but I think this is pretty cool to have a product like this that's, I mean, it's only 10 years old, but in the total life of Pokemon, that's, yeah, because Pokemon came out around 1998, so that's about half of its life, of the Pokemon life, because this Pokemon's been around for about 25 years now. Just about half of those years, worthy of an item here. And so I'm going to be keeping this sealed just to keep it as a part of the collection. Who knows, maybe one day in the future I will open it, but it's a pretty cool figure nonetheless. And I know I mentioned in regards to value and pricing, the Ho-Oh figure here I only got, again, for a few bucks at the thrift store. If you go online, this is easily selling for about 20 bucks. Now again, there's some slight damages. If you look up top here, you can kind of see where the flap is, some slight tears, which will definitely take away a few bucks in the value, especially for a serious collector. But overall, the box is in pretty good condition, and more importantly, the figure has never been opened. So for someone who wants that nostalgic factor of being able to open the figure for themselves, people are willing to pay a little bit of some more money. So yeah, there you have it, guys. This is the end of the video. So if you liked this video, if you liked whether it was the MechWarriors review, the Pokemon Ho-Oh figure for Nintendo DS review, or if you liked the brief review and history of Blip, think it's a pretty cool game, or maybe you had it when you were younger, give me a like. You know, as an upcoming YouTuber, I'm hoping to do more of these videos where I review my purchases, provide some perspective, some history, and some education to help you guys out when you're out hunting. Maybe you're at flea markets or yard sales, or looking on Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, eBay, whatever website you use. You know, sometimes people don't know what the real value of an item is. And by going into eBay, typing in the item, clicking on sold/completed listings, you can find out that value. And that's what I did here. And that's what I'm hoping to spread on to you, is some of that knowledge, some of those good vibes, so that you can become more well-informed when it comes time for, you know, maybe you're at the store and you find an item, or maybe you're going to a yard sale and you only have a few moments to make a decision before someone else scoops up an item. Being able to have that education is important. And yeah. So once again, guys, thank you for watching. Like the video, comment on the video for any of the items that you thought were interesting, or that you may have, or that brings some nostalgia for you. And, you know, as always, if you want to help support a YouTuber who's attempting to build his profile, build his community, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. Thank you.